feel the need to prove a point here. We're gonna go ahead and make a map. Come on, let's go. Okay, so yeah, okay, cool. This is all fancy schmancyville. Let's go with this. I like to have tone paper. I'm spoiled. So I tone my canvas accordingly. So I have a bunch of specialty brushes in my Canva at this point. Go with the good pencil. Usually I just kind of start by getting some sort of random shape. I just kind of keep doing shapes until I see one that I kind of like this one. I'll throw some other shape there because I think that's kind of cool. Okay, cool. I have a random shape. Now what? Now, drop your opacity. Throw on another layer. Grab a decent pen. There's the good pen. I have this one as well. Any pen will do. Now you're going to just go do, 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 and you're going to let your hand purposefully be shaky. You want lots of like sharp things. If your shapes are too smooth, you're doing something wrong. Yeah, I'm just sort of shaking my hand across. I'm like purposefully shaking as well. Same thing over here. Vary your weight as well. Push down harder. Don't push down as much in other areas. Okay, cool. Now let's go into some of these areas where I accidentally got a little bit too smooth. And we're just going to quickly like fuck with those edges a little bit. Okay, turn that off. Ooh, look at that. We have some land masses. I think I might also throw another little landmass down here. Okay, so now grab a paintbrush. I like this one. This one has a nice little paper variety to it, and it changes pressure nicely. And then you're going to take it, and you're just going to coast along the edges very softly. Keep your brush nice and big, and just very softly sort of trace all your edges all the way around. Try to keep on this part of your shape. You don't want it going into your water. We're doing something with that later. If you do, no big deal. You can go around with an eraser and clean it up. We just want to really softly, really quickly, just kind of go all the way around. Just speeding through this. I'm just doing this really quickly because you really don't need to put too much effort into something like this. This is such an easy way to make a map quickly and make it look good. Fantasy maps. Sometimes you might come in with an exact idea or plan of like what it is that you want your map to look like, and that is awesome. But you don't have to have a plan. Okay, so gone through, you've gotten that nice like soft fade into the darkest part of your map there. You can definitely make this like a lot better than what I've done here. I think I might actually tune a couple of these areas because you really, for this part, you really want it to be like super soft and fadey. If you want, another thing you can do is you can actually switch to a transparency. So like over in ClipStudio, you have the transparency option. You can actually switch to that and go along your edges that are a little harsh in order to really soften them without ruining your brush texture. Instead of using an eraser which gets rid of everything, it's not. A lot of the ClipStudio erasers are just not as pressure sensitive, so I tend to just prefer to use my brushes as erasers, unless I'm looking for like a really nice, harsh, clean erase. And then if you were to use a blender, like the thing with using the blenders is that all this nice texture that this particular brush has disappears if I use a blender. Whereas if I use like a clear opacity of the same brush, like I still get to keep that paper texture, but it's just lighter. So that's my personal preference. I spend a lot of time brush hunting. I like to have cool, fun brushes in my collection. Okay, but yeah, look at that. See, we got some really nice fades going over here. You don't want it to be too dark because you're going to actually come back in with a much smaller version of the same brush, and you're going to add a little bit more opacity, but you actually want it to be a nice harsh line, and you're going to trace the entire thing. And this is what really like sells that like edge of a map feel. Like you can already see like with just this one little section that I've done, like that makes such a difference in terms of it like standing out. And you can like again put a little bit of effort into fading this in to that fade that you've already done, but you definitely want this to be like a few shades darker, which is part of why I use a paintbrush to do this. It's really hard to find in ClipStudio like the perfect pencil. The paintbrushes just have so much more control and layering when it comes to like the opacity and how you work with it. So it's preferable to me at the very least. I like it. Okay. So that looks a lot like a fucking map, doesn't it? Wild. Wild what a little bit of shading can do. But we're not done yet. We're going to go back to our pen of preference. We're going to go back to that outline layer that we did. And we're going to make sure that we make this several times smaller than our outline. So that way when I like push down really hard, it's not too bad. And then we're just going to do like little vibe squiggles all the way around. You want to purposely stop. You want to follow the shape to the best of your ability. Lots of vibe squiggles. When they collide, that's perfect. That's what you want. Like over here, you're gonna see some magic here, man. This is gonna be so cool. Okay, this is how you make it look like it's an actual island sitting in the fucking water. The vibe squiggles have the power. Ooh. Like, I'm not really trying right now. And that's not too shabby. Let me tune this a little bit here. Let me actually like a little bit more thought in. Just get rid of some lines that really feel a little excessive. A lot of these are also like very like long, a lot longer than I would normally do. It's good enough for now. Proves my point. I mean, then you can literally just like put dots. I use perfect circles usually, but I'm just putting them in real quick for all your cities. Or, you know, points of interest. You know, you can draw like little caves and huts and stuff if you wanted. You know, maybe these are like little civilizations. Maybe they mean something, maybe they don't. Draw mountains. You know, mountains. Mountain ranges. Add rivers as well. You know, do whatever you want. Have fun. You do you, boo. Okay, bye.